So welcome everybody to a Friday 2 p.m. Eastern vintage preliminary event. Off work today, and we're going to do what we love to do, and that is stream piles of Magic the Gathering cards. So this here is a deck that I put together this week. I actually 5-0'd with it this week, which was very surprising, I agree. It's a combination of a fast mana 2019 Planeswalker deck with Interplanar Beacon, combined with a Grim Monolith Walking Ballista Urza Infinite package with our Elemental Fox Zerta, the Dawnwaker. You also have Karn board because Karn is broken, as well as some extra Silver Bullet Planeswalkers. We are playing Tinker Bolas Citadel. Even though this is not the greatest Bolas Citadel deck, I find that if you tinker for a Bolas Citadel and just play a couple Planeswalkers off the top, it actually works out okay. Also including a Vault Key package. Yeah, that's kind of the whole idea. The walkers do help fit the blue slots for Force of Will, so you can still be a Force of Will, Force of Negation deck. I didn't put the negations in the main because I kind of wanted enough threats, but if we find ourselves in need, we can like trim down on the Zerta combos per se and put in some negations and play a bit of a controlling game plan with the diminishing the combo finish. In the games that I played, I probably won with walkers half the time and with Zerta half the time, so it was like a pretty reasonable split. I literally have never played with Dovin, so I don't know, but it seemed like it could be good, so we put it in the sideboard. There's a bunch of cards I haven't tested yet that are in this because I just don't have enough time to play the amount of leagues in a week that I want to try out all the different things for all the different decks that I want to. So, all right, we're going to battle. Hello, good luck. I would like to reveal my Elemental Fox. You have a pet? You do. You have a cat. Cat versus Fox Magic. We also have one Moxen short of a turn 1 2019 Walker. But we have a Force, an extra blue card. We could always ponder into a Moxen and play a Walker this turn, which seems pretty sick to me. So let's do it. Yeah, so we are a Moxen, Mox Opal fast mana deck. We're also a jam a lot of threats deck. So we do kind of skimp on the traditional powerful draw spells in Vintage. Obviously, we still play Ancestral. But we aren't playing like 4 Preordain in the Delve spells. So here I think we just let this resolve. We'd much rather fight over Art to Fairy. Opponent might be on Esper Buffoons. Hard to say, but very likely. And we'll try to get to Art to Fairy just to bounce this Confidant, basically time walk our opponent. It'll be fun. We're looking for a Moxen, really. And Oko was not what we were looking for. So we're just going to cast our Ponder and see if we can find that Moxen. We did not find the Moxen. So opponent is going to extract infinite value off the Dark Confidant because we did not match it. Unfortunately, we can't cast any of our 2019 walkers off of Sol Ring Opal. I do think I want to play Sol Ring this turn. I want to use my mana to the best of my ability. I believe what I want to do is put Sol Ring on top, draw Sol Ring, play Sol Ring, next turn draw Ancestral, and then work from there. I think we're in a pretty good spot. If opponent wants to try to outvalue our hand with a Dark Confidant, we should be okay. We could cast Dovin off of Sol Ring. Unfortunately, we didn't have the Dovin in our deck. Yeah, we're not playing around days. We're just letting it happen. Unfortunate but this deck really, of all the decks I've played, probably can't afford to play around days at all with the amount of walkers we're playing. So Fatal Push was revealed, which is obviously not very good against us. Decent against Fox, I guess, but against Dak to Fairy Oko combo, maybe not the best. I put it in my deck. That's might be reasonable. I'm not 100% sure, Matt, because I don't really think it matters. Like, you could say maybe put the Ancestral first so you have more blue card pitch options. No, I think I just want to use my 1 mana for a Soul Ring this turn, because this red mana next turn like could be used for a Dak Faden or something, right? Opponent is on 4 cards. One of them is a Fatal Push. They also have a cat waiting in the back. That's true. Wasteland, that's true. You do have to consider Wasteland here. I'm gonna get time walked. I'm getting predicted. What the fuck? I'm gonna lose my Ancestral. So the way we ordered it mattered, I guess? I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's just kind of unfortunate, I would say. It's really not the end of the world. We still have 6 mana and 2 walkers next turn, as well as a Force of Will. So them casting Predict here, what did they name? Scalding Tarn? We had what, Flooded Strand underneath? Renee. If they don't cast anything else here, we have to play double walkers this turn. I don't exactly know what's in our opponent's deck because Predict is kind of unusual. Be named right, like that's just ghosting, right? You can't ever name Ancestral there. Alright, so where are we at in life here? We can choose to play Teferi or Oko, and then Dak Faden follow up. Or we could say lead with Dak Faden and steal the Jet to reduce their mana pool. But we don't really want to play into Daze. So we should probably just jam Teferi first. Probably end up pitching Force with Oko. That way we can actually draw another card, right? Because we're gonna bounce this Confidant anyways. So we'll have better options. So is there a bounce thing that we could, if we drew Tolarian, we would want to hold this flooded, right? So if we drew Tolarian, white, blue, I guess if leading to, I guess that wouldn't exactly matter. I'm trying to think about like Spell Pierce. One, we can currently pay for Spell Pierce, but we couldn't pay for Spell Pierce Daze. I think we'll just play this Flooded Strand, white, blue, colorless. Teferi. Teferi resolves, we're in great shape because we just bounce this thing, play a Dak, steal a Jet. Jet's really important to our opponent. And we hopefully won't even have to pitch our Oko or Force of Will. We don't know the card underneath, right? We knew Soul Ring, Ancestral. Oh, nice. So I don't have to fetch here either. Oh, wow. That's interesting. Alright, well, we can't get dazed anymore, so we're best off just jamming this Dak Faden. And I can get a Tropical, but I think I would rather get a Volk for our Zerta. Exclamation mark deck should work now, but maybe it broke again. We could just win next turn. Ballista off the top, or even Urza off the top is a win. So, I don't know. Opponent's playing a fair Esper deck, and we just jammed 2 3-mana Planeswalkers in 1 turn, so... I'm surprised exclamation mark deck list and deck didn't work. I thought they had it fixed for me. I'm kind of sad now. It worked on the last stream. So... kind of upset. Oh, what the hell? They're on bug. Okay. That kind of makes more sense then, I guess. We could have stolen our Emerald for our Oko. That is fair point. I did not assume my opponent was on bug. I did not assume my opponent was on bug, so I still thought the Jet would be more important. So opponent has a Fatal Push in hand, so us standing up a card with our Oko is not the greatest, because opponent can just Fatal Push it. I'm wondering if there's any value to forcing one of these. I don't really think so, because with a Dak Fade, we might be able to find a win. I think we just let this Dark Confidant shit happen. Who cares? We're doing a little bit more powerful things. Alright, so that was not a Ballista. But we can Dak Fade in here and see if we can find a Ballista. We did not find a Ballista. We found a Mana Crypt. So we don't really need a Mana Crypt or a fetched land currently. So we'll just keep the cards that we currently have, and we will still probe here. I guess with Oko and Zerta, that's two things, and they can't push both. So we should be in like decent enough shape. I think I would rather be able to see what they have and draw and have one more draw to win. I guess you could consider pitching Force of Will here. That way we have another mana to work with. Like, what do we actually care about forcing? I guess we could force the... If we drew a blue card that we didn't want off of probe, we could force the Fatal Push. But that's kind of like not exactly a line I care about, right? But it's still probably better than a Delta. How much mana do we have? We could force a Lurrus, but like, does that even matter either? I don't really think a Lurrus matters at all either. We should be able to cast everything we want to cast. All right, I'm just gonna pitch the land. I think we should be able to cast everything we want to cast. All right, opponent has a Predict and a Fatal Push and a Tarn. And we found another Grim Monolith. So I think what we do here is we'll put, maybe we can just hard cast a Force. Is that better than playing a... I think if we just play an Oko and leave up hard cast Force instead of exposing Zerta to Fatal Push. They can only kill one of our walkers. I guess I can't hold up, because I lost the Polluted Delta. I can't hold up hard cast Force. They have any bounce spells? Can I pop up this Jet? Yeah, actually not taking the Delta is gonna really be a hindrance here. Maybe what I want to do is just doesn't exactly, because I can't stand up anything with my Oko. I guess if I instead of playing Oko, I could play Zerta and have Force up. It's like not very good. I'm like not super happy about that. I also have to stand up my Jet here. I have to stand up my Opal here if I do this, right? I can't hold up Force if I do this though. That defeats the whole purpose. Doesn't actually do anything. Oh, I guess I make infinite mana, right? Does that do anything for me though? Not really. And then like I have to stand up my Opal, and I can't. Oh, I guess I can't cast Oko next turn is the problem here. I guess I could stand up my Grim Monolith instead. No, that doesn't work either. I can't stand up anything here and still be able to cast Force of Will. This doesn't work, and I'm going to lose all my walkers. Oh, right, I'm not standing up anything. Sorry. I'm just thinking about not being able to stand up anything. This is fine. You're right. I was like thinking about both lines at the same time. I was thinking about Oko and I was thinking about Zerda. All right, so opponent has Fatal Push, Snap Fatal Push now, so that backfired. All right, we lose both our Planeswalkers and our Zerda. All right, well, we probably don't win the game at this point. We just like snap lost the game, so maybe I just really didn't want to play Zerda. I really didn't want to play Zerda and expose it, but whatever. Yeah, we just lose, so. Because now I don't have an option to infinite combo. I lose both of my Planeswalkers, and all I have is an Oko, which is just not good enough. Yeah, this was a mistake. This was a huge mistake. Playing Zerda here was just a huge mistake. Is it a pun, or is it because I just took the accepted line? Should have listened to myself. Just exposing Zerda like gives us very little chances to win the game. No. Playing Zerda is the line that gets me to lose the game more often. Because I don't have an ability to Zerda next turn. I can still win this game if I just draw an Urza or a Citadel. Oh, sorry, an Urza or a Ballista with Zerda next turn. No, like I have the ability to win the game this turn if I drew Ballista or Urza. I would have won the game if I had taken the other line. Ah, fuck. All right, we can still play Magic though. This line was really bad, but we have to regroup and play Magic here. So what I could do is I could just turn one of these into an elk. Probably better than spinning. Did I not make enough colors of mana? Oh, I can use my duty. That is a punt as well, but I was just too tilted. My bad. That's just not true, but please go off in chat. Really quick. It's really quick, actually. No, it's not fine because there's really no reason to expose my Zerda. My Zerda is my best chance to win the game, so I shouldn't be exposing it. It's fine. We're moving on. We're gonna play out the game that we have right here in front of us instead of the game that we could have had. Okay. Everything will be fine. So like our opponent has bobs and stuff, so we're not really in horrendous shape. Our Urza should hold down the fort. Our opponent is gonna get like one draw off their Lurrus, but then it will become an elk because they don't have a Caracas. And we have like a bunch of mana and an Urza, so like we're not necessarily in a losing position here. It's close, but we're not super far behind if we're far behind. Until they remove this construct, we're actually they're kind of brick wall because the bug deck doesn't really get through a big creature very well. Opponent is going to draw 2 cards off their predict though because they have Bobble. Obviously, we have no way of recurring our Zerda, so we kind of have to win by outvaluing our opponent now, which is going to be difficult with a Bob and a Lurrus in play. But did they find a Fatal Push again? No, they have another Deathrite Shaman. Okay, so like, what does this do? Not very much. If we can keep turning their value engines into elks, we might have a shot. Brainstorm. Karn. So they can have force here, but whatever. Do we have enough to... We might be able to actually lattice this turn. But could we protect our Karn? No, not really. Well, if we stood up... so 3... Well, now we're way short on lattice. We can just ensnaring bridge, though. I think opponent has a counter spell, but yeah, I mean, I think Cat's like super overrated. It's a very good card, and the decks are very good, but I'm like kind of over Cats, like just medium. I could take this Lurrus. Not very good for me. It's probably not as good as just turning it into an elk. I don't know, maybe it is good. I get to replay my Crypt and spin. Fuck it, that sounds like way more fun. I'll give you a Grim Monolith for your Lurrus. Seems like a trade that I'm willing to take here. All right, replay my Mana Crypt, and then shuffle away those dead cards on the top with my Urza. Hopefully hit another Oko, right? Interplanar Beacon, a classic, a classic. All right, so opponent has only one engine right now, and it's Dark Confidant. I guess they also have Deathrite Shaman Drains, which could be a problem. All right, they hit a force and they're down to 7. That's good. You have to play a little bit faster, obviously. I think this is still okay. I think we're still fighting. I think we're still in a decent spot until opponent draws removal. If our opponent can't remove our Urza, we get 2 spins every turn. Is another Bob? Or just a Demonic Tutor? Because that'd be a pretty reasonable draw. Interplanar Beacon, gain some life. Absolutely. Obviously, Lurrus isn't very good for us, and our deck built around 3 mana cost permanence, but... Glad to hear it, Slasher. It's a good time, for sure. I also think that the current fair cat decks are super exploitable. Like, they're just fair mid-range decks that try to value. I switched my Grim Monolith for my Lurrus with an Oko Ultimate. I decided to do that instead of turning it into an elk because that would give me the ability to replay Mana Crypt and spin my Urza to shuffle the top of my library. Whether or not that's the correct play, I have no fucking idea, but it was fun. They did draw Demonic Tutor. Hilarious. Hilarious. That can't be good for us, chat. I assume that means Urza is dead. Yeah, Demonic Tutor is a really good draw. It's okay. We already punted away this game, so it's fine. Oh, they just went for Ancestral? That's super odd. Really? Why would you go for Ancestral here? Hard not to. I disagree. They have a Dark Confidant drawing them cards. They don't need to go for Ancestral here. They need to remove Urza. This is the most important thing right now. I get to spin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. Twice. I get to spin twice if they let me. They find a time walk or a cruise, I guess, maybe. I mean, if opponent just hits mono restricted cards, I guess Ancestral's pretty good. Like, there's a lot of lands in their deck still. Yeah, that's wonderful if they happen to have it, but if they miss, they actually fall like really far behind. I think they could possibly lose if they missed. What is this doing? Snapping back Ancestral? Okay. This just doesn't seem like the line that I would take. But like, they're in an advantageous position if they remove Urza. This is just gambling. Like, I'm sure they'll hit it, right? But... Or do they hit Time Walk? They hit Time Walk. Seems good. Maybe they'll just hit Cruise and die. That'd be fun. It's pretty unfortunate. This is all really just because opponent hit DT off the top. If they don't hit DT, I think we're actually favored. Just kind of crazy. Look at these baubles. They're so bad. Opponent's just drawing a bunch of baubles with their Ancestral Recall, which is not the same thing as drawing good cards. Oh man, putting baubles in your deck is like not ideal. Why? Why would I want to go with Jund? I don't think Jund is very good. We had a win this game, we just fucked it up by listening to chat. So Rated should have played Jund. I don't know, man. People are still crazy and they play like PO and stuff, so you kind of need to have Force of Wills. All right, so we lose all our lands. Do they also have a Assassin's Trophy? They don't? All right, well, they missed on Assassin's Trophy, so we get to do some spinning with Urza. They probably have Hardcast Force though, so it kind of goes a little south when you think about that. Currently we have, so they didn't kill the Interplanar Beacon, so we can still gain life. And currently we have 2 spins now. No, yeah, we have the ability to spin a couple times. So all right. So to spin again, I have to tap my Construct, which could be risky, but it's probably worth doing while I have a Force that I can cast. I feel like I'm not thrilled about tapping my Construct here, but I don't think I should die. Oh, let's see. I go to 8, and then I go to 2, and I guess I die. I guess I die if I do that. I guess opponent could like gain some life here. I don't know. It's like kind of just the end of the road for us, so we might as well spin. That's an interesting card to hit, chat. I guess I'll cast a Bolas' Citadel. It seems kind of reasonable, right? This deck is so sick. I don't really have a lot of life to work with. I guess I could gain 3 more life by attacking with this Lurrus. Also taps for blue. Just the biggest truth here. I can play a land off the top. That's fine. But we have 10 permanents, right? 3, 7, 10. We just win the game. If this resolves, we just win the game. Ah, sad days, chat. Looks like opponent has a daze or a fluster or something. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Just unlucky. We might have postponed our death though. Dig? I mean, dig should hit, right? There's a ton of forces left. They have to hit. They have to hit a counter spell, right? We have the lethal Bolas Citadel activation here. We have exactly 11 permanents. I hope we win. That'd be hilarious. I think it's fairly unlikely, but it would be pretty funny though. I think that would be the best way to win this game. Our opponent's about at the same clock as we have, and they were yelling at me for taking too much time. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Give me a Bolas Citadel. I deserve it. Cash in that one time, please. Aw, sad days, chat. Sad days, chat. We just don't have the one extra mana. You hate to see it. It was close. It was close. We did our absolute best, okay? What if they hit Cruise? Can they just hit Cruise? Cruise? Come on. When I play that deck, my Dark Confidant always hits Cruise. I don't understand. I don't know. I think it's unreasonable opponent didn't hit Cruise off of Bob. Nah, Dark Confidant's not really an out. Like, opponent should definitely have activated their Deathrite Shaman to eat a... Wait, are there no creatures that... Yeah. Opponent should have activated their Deathrite Shaman to eat a creature so Bob wasn't even an out. Unless they already have Cruise in their hand, which obviously I can't know about, but it makes me feel like opponent's playing really, really greedy. Like, they could play this game, and I don't think they could lose if they just, like, played more conservatively, but... Like, they had a Fatal Push in their deck. They could have Fatal Pushed my Urza, and I would have no chance of ever winning. But, I don't know. Opponent took the most greedy possible line at every point in this entire game. Like, gushing here doesn't make sense either. Like, you want to keep all of your mana up for Deathrite Shamans, in my opinion. But whatever. I actually have an out, chat. I have an out. I have an out right now. My out is Manifold Key. Manifold Key is 9 unblockable damage. Manifold Key is 9 unblockable damage. So maybe I should have kept Lurrus because I had the ability to draw Manifold Key. That was probably a mistake as well. It's okay. I didn't draw it, obviously. They can't... I guess they can game... No, they can't. There's not enough creatures. Oh, now there's enough creatures. Yes. If I hadn't blocked... Oh, no, there's always been enough creatures. Never mind. Manifold Key doesn't do it. Alright, we'll just concede. Yeah, I think opponent is very lucky to have won that game with the way that the sequencing happened there. Alright, what do we want to play, chat? What do we want to bring in? I feel like Swords is pretty good here, and Balance is pretty good. I also think that Dovin is pretty reasonable. I think Force is awful. This might be okay as well. We could just like get off of Time Vault Manifold Key as well if we wanted to. Like, we could go off of Time Vault Manifold Key and have an extra Force. And just play mono walkers. It almost worked out last time. No, let's try this. I don't really know if I need Forces in this matchup. It doesn't really feel like I do. Yo, me too. I want to buy a sideboard guide as well. Anyone have a sideboard guide? I sure don't. Because, like, just natural ballistas are pretty reasonable against the Bob Lurrus deck. Like, if you ever play a ballista for 3 and you kill Lurrus and Bob, like, you just win the game on the spot. So yeah, that was interesting. Obviously, we punted away the free win by making an interesting decision with our Oko versus Zerta options. But we almost came back. It was close. Opponent had to draw that DT, I think. Like, the spins in this deck are pretty powerful. Obviously, you're still a percentage to whiff, but like our spins are pretty reasonable here. Like, we have, I don't know, 15, 16, like, just incredible spins. I guess top is a pretty reasonable one too, so. We did draw the Urza though. I'm not sure, Cho. It's like, it varies. It's kind of matchup dependent on how many ballista you want. I was told to play less ballista by Saturn, but I don't know. All right, I have a cat. What's up, Jarvis? This seems like kind of a greedy hand to keep without, like, unfortunately not rated. Unfortunately not. Seems like a greedy hand to keep without any really great payoff for keeping it. I'm gonna mulligan this hand. This just seems like a much better hand. Not a much better hand, but not a much better hand, but like probably a better hand. So I guess we're gonna play a 1/1 Walking Ballista to turn on our Opal so that we can cast Ponder. Just a classic draw. A classic draw. Yeah, this deck's fun. Good time. No, I haven't cut my hair. I got my hair cut right before everything happened, so. Am I just getting misstepped? Wonderful. All right, well, we're gonna try to cast Tinker next turn, chat, and if it resolves, we probably win, and if it gets countered, we probably lose. I shaved. That probably helped. I'm in a t-shirt. It might help. I don't know. What are you gonna do? Play a Bob into my Ballista? Come on now. All right. So opponent only has 3 cards left in their hand. What's the chance they have a counter spell for Tinker, chat? Like 0, right? Do I play around Daze by playing a Misty Rainforest? I lose the ability to play a land off the top, but I still have a fetch, so probably. All right, Tinker Citadel. Oh my god, opponent's so broken. Oh, I hate to see it. I did cut all my forces though, so. Just has a Fluster. Fluster is not good against my deck either. It's so sad. Oh well. Fluster's like really not very good against my deck. I have like 5 spells in my deck, but they got us, so probably totally worth. Yeah, we're just dead, so it's fine. They don't know I set it up for so well, but they don't know what's in my deck, so it's kind of hard for them to say, but it's kind of sad that the card that's just not very good against us ended up being very good against us. Alright, we were never beating the opponent anyways. Opponent was just a little too good. They had too many broken cards, unfortunately. That's so funny. It's okay. This is just vintage. You know, guys, I think Lurrus is pretty broken here. Like, Lurrus did some really dumb things to us in this match. Oh, oh wait, no, that was just Ancestral, Demonic, and Strip Mine. Never mind, never mind. No, Lurrus is better than Ancestral. Come on, chat. Everyone knows it. If the trophy leader said so, it has to be true. Lurrus is just much better than Ancestral. Oh, man. Magic Twitter's been really fun recently. No, LSV said it, so it has to be true. Lurrus better than Ancestral. You heard it here first, chat. Look, it's gonna recur Mishra's Bauble, and eventually, in 4 turns, it will draw as many cards as Ancestral Recall, okay? I mean, we did what we had to do. We cast our Tinker and made them have it. They had it, so we lost. That's just kind of how Magic works sometimes. So I'm gonna, do I even bother killing this Lurrus? Like, they have 6 cards in their hand. So, like, what's the point? It's okay. I really don't get to complain because opponent, sorry, I punted game 1. Like, I threw game 1 away, so you got it, fam. I guess I should have stopped them from gaining 3 life, but I just don't even care. Whatever. Nope, we lost game 1 because I took chat's line, which was my own mistake. I think sacrificing Ballista to get rid of Lurrus is better than holding my Ballista and hoping to hit spells that matter. Opponent's just going to draw too many cards, I think. Oh, we died the minute opponent countered Tinker and then untapped and went Ancestral Demonic. So, I mean, Bob's not that good. It's just we have no magic cards because opponent played Demonic and Ancestral, which are not very fair magic cards. It's okay, chat. We'll get them next time. But no. Ban Lurrus because definitely not as good. It's definitely better than Ancestral and Demonic Tutor. Okay. Oh yeah, we 100% died the minute opponent cast Flusterstorm on our Tinker. For sure. Yeah, we have like we had like 6 spells that Fluster could target in our deck. I guess that's not true. 5, 6, 7, 9. Like 9 spells in our 60 card deck that Fluster could target, so sometimes you just get hit by the bad beats. This deck is something. I actually think it's pretty reasonable. I wouldn't say, you know, you should spend money on it. But I think it's very playable. I think Beacon's very good. Beacon hasn't done anything this match so far, but Beacon's been good. Like I said, like I 5-0'd with this deck. I don't think it's like necessarily unplayably bad. It's just not necessarily very good. Jay, thanks, man. Appreciate it. I don't know, dude. I haven't played enough games to tell you that if that's true or not. I don't have enough time. I only can play like 1, maybe 2 leagues a day. I have lots of brew. Like, this format is insane for brewing. There's so many brews I need to try. I don't have the time to tune each and every one to its max potential. Like, that's what happened in the first week, right? Like, I played only Bobcat, and I actually tuned Bobcat all the way to being a pretty reasonable deck. But like, by doing that, I wasn't able to try all the different brews I wanted to try. And then with everyone complaining the way they are, I feel like I'm on a timer. And so I want to experience the format as much as I can. I want to brew as much as I can. I want to try as many of the cards as I possibly can. So that's just the way I look.